It is Thursday night, friends. Reverse Polarity. I'm your boy, Vega. He's Dean, the man who wears a cardio shirt every week. And
every week.
And he didn't have a salad this week, so I don't know what's going on. It could be wild.
I took a break from salads. I ate it during the day.
Salad. No. You're on salad break.
Yeah, well, I eat them at lunch instead, so I've moved things around just to.
So you and salads didn't break up?
No, God, no.
You're still together, going strong.
All the way. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I don't want you to. There might be some side salads that we don't know about.
There's no side salad. No, it's just yeah. No, I'm wearing my Ground Zero shirt because tomorrow, Saturday, 2 days from now, we're gonna announce the rules for the giveaway.
Ooh.
So we'll be giving.
I thought we discussed it. I was just gonna get that.
I mean, you're free to enter. It's 100% random, so anyone can win. Welcome to the most serious card. That is correct, William. Mr.
Very
Bird.
Serious. Salads or serious cardio business?
Serious or cardio. Yeah. No.
So, man, I haven't even watched any 5-star videos this week. Like, what have you guys done? I've been wrapped up in a show that we're going to talk about in our next show. But
we had 2 live shows this week. So Monday we had Christopher McNulty from Electromedia on talking about the new Forza platform, which was really fun. And then yesterday we had Seth Hostetter from JVC Kenwood on to talk about the new JVC and Kenwood releases. And then he left us a box of JVC and Kenwood stuff so that we can do a bunch of unboxings. So that's going to be pretty fun. We put up the video on McNulty's car that we filmed in Orlando yesterday, I think, or Tuesday. I don't know, one of the days this week. And then we have one more video coming out tomorrow, which is on some of the new iData stuff. That is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So they'll get that tomorrow. And then next week we'll get back to the Porsche because everyone's like, what is the Porsche? I'm like, dude, hey, sorry. We have
finale.
We have a lot of stuff that we're trying to work through, and it's a long month. It's a long month. So we appreciate, but we it's
it's how it goes.
It's just kind of break it up a little bit. I mean, they're not all going to be amp dynos. It's just not all going to be amp dynos.
No.
We did dyno a few amps this week that for private, which was weird.
Yeah.
So I have to find time to produce those videos and go, all right, well, they're not going.
No one's ever going to see it. 10 people. No one's ever whoever's at the company. That's it.
It's like, yeah.
Here you go. Oh, dude, I have a banger of a video planned out, right? I could not get it done this week. I'm trying to not work every day after work.
Yeah.
On video. Luck. Yeah. And it's not working out. On simpler videos, sure. But on the ones where I actually got a lot of legwork that I got to do and moving things in and out, it ain't going to happen. So
no, I mean, it was funny too because I was editing and I'm like, I'm missing footage, man. There's footage gone because if you caught the McNulty video, there's no like cutaway scenes to his car, which we'd normally have.
Right.
I'm like, it's not here. I don't know where it went. And I was really bummed because we have another car that we filmed while we were there, which is Sage from Tennessee, the Orca car.
Right.
God, what are they, the good guys or the stereo guys? Or I always get it wrong. And he goes, you always get it wrong. And I go, I know. But we filmed his truck. And I was like, dude, without the B-roll, this is going to be terrible. And so I got to work and I told Fran, I was like, dude, man, I couldn't find this card. And I was like, you know what? It's a 128 gig card. We only have one.
Right.
So I'm going to go through all my cards and see if it's accounted for. And I couldn't find it. And I was like, all right, well, that's why we don't have the footage. So we went back and it was still in the camera. I was happy because I found it, but I was sad because I didn't get to put the footage in the McNulty video. So it was, oh, well.
That's the way it goes. I had a memory card get corrupted. So I had showed kind of everybody the Orion XTRs that I put inside the cheap bandpass.
Right.
So, long story short, people are going to see it. They're not going to get my genuine first reaction though, because as expected, it sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, the box sucks. You know, the subs are okay. The subs are fine. The box sucks. So I was like, I genuinely had some very good video of my highly disappointed face on first listen. So I don't know if I'm not a good actor, so I cannot recreate it the same. But I've got to put it back in the Trooper and get some footage so I can finish that video. But like everything else is cool putting it in there. But yeah, you will not get the genuine disappointment in my face when I put it in there. So that's what happened. Memory card corrupted.
To answer the question, is slew rate important? The answer is it is important. It's the maximum rate at which an amplifier can respond to the abrupt change in input levels. Now, if you recall what music is, it's an abrupt change in input levels. So it's not something that most amplifier manufacturers put on their box,
right,
and talk about, because that gets kind of deep, and they would much rather put dampening factor on there as it's like more. Oh, you got what is
right?
What is the dampening factor? Oh man, that's super important. And it's like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it is important,
right?
But there again, most people don't understand what that is, so it really doesn't matter. If you guys want to have some fun though, and you got a big ass woofer laying around,
yeah,
hook a battery or hook a light bulb up to it, push the woofer down.
Yeah.
And
actually go over that in a video. Yeah. People don't even understand when like hook an ohm meter up to a subwoofer in an enclosure or even out of an enclosure and see, like, whoa, wait, this is changing. What's going on?
Well, not only that, it doesn't say 4 ohm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It doesn't say 4 ohm. It's you're gonna round it because 4 ohm is just a generic rating that it gives. And oh god, I had one engineer go totally crazy when I was calling a speaker a 4 ohm speaker. And he's like, "That you can't put a voltmeter onto a woofer and get an ohm load out of it. That's actual." Oh, and he just goes on and on. I'm like,
yeah,
I get it, dude. I totally get it, but it has to have some form of a resting ohm load, and we have to be able to measure it, and it's still going to be close. We're going to round. It's just, yes, I understand.
This is how people talk about it. That's the thing that gets you. It's like, this is the way people talk about it, whether it's technically correct or not. Like if someone's saying that's not a subsonic filter, it's an infrasonic filter. Okay,
no, it's a high pass filter.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah,
and that's it. It's a high pass filter, dude.
Yeah.
It's just a very low frequency high pass filter.
People get up in arms about it. It's like, yo, man, it's just they call it subsonic filter. Like
they also call them crossovers, which they aren't, but that's okay.
Right. Yeah.
They're filters.
Yeah.
So the serial thing is kind of funny.
What happened with the serial? Let me see.
Like calling filters crossovers. Yeah. Jeff and I and Fernando were having a talk the other day, and somehow we started talking about like favorite foods of his, and it turns out his favorite food was Post Raisin Bran. Okay, and so
as a favorite food, listen, I like Post Raisin Bran, but that's I can't back that up.
But you gotta understand his love for milk apparently trumps all.
Yeah,
like he's a milk guy, and so cereal and milk are like peanut butter and jelly. You can't have one without the other. So Baba and Bobby B and a couple of the guys got together and sent him. I asked, I was like, "Hey man, so if you guys want to send it," so they sent him a case of Post Raisin Bran. So he stopped by today and picked it up, and he was freaking out. It was hilarious, man.
It's all going to be stale before he can eat it all.
Oh no, it won't. No, you don't understand the level at which he will eat a box of cereal. Yeah. I was blown away. I was like, I mean, I like cereal as much as the next guy, but like I haven't had a bowl of cereal in probably like 50 years. It feels like. I mean, I'm only 50, but I mean, Jeff Smiles priceless. Oh, dude, he's so easily excited like that. He'll
be regular. He will be regular.
Well, and I said that too. I said, hey man, well. It's Raisin Bran. You'll be regular in the morning.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, he'll eat it for dinner. And the problem, he just like, he'll there's a gallon of milk and a box of cereal. Watch out.
Hey, listen, I'll eat cereal for dinner too. I don't eat cereal that much just
I don't.
because it's
I
almost
don't.
all bad for you.
I don't drink
And
milk, so yeah. But
I,
but there
I'll
again,
drink the milk, but it just
I
depends.
hate milk, so it was like I would always
Yeah.
use one of the fake ones, naturally.
Hmm.
But it's funny because it's like as expected. I'm sure they could probably guess like what. I really only have a top 2 when it comes to cereal, but I'm
Yeah.
sure they could actually have a top 3. No one would guess the third. More than likely, they could probably guess the first and possibly the second cereal that I like, just because of how boring
Was it like
I am.
Special K?
Oh no! It's not that
Okay.
boring. It's not that
It's
boring. But
ooh,
it's
let's
like
go.
one of the it's what?
Frosted Flakes, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops.
No.
Yeah. See, I
No, so
don't know.
those are too exciting. Those are too
Cheerios,
exciting. Huh?
Cheerios,
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios. That's a solid choice though. Even though it's boring,
Yeah.
those are good. They're just good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it's
Yeah.
like Honey Nut Cheerios and Cinnamon Life.
Ooh, yeah. I like
Those are the
cinnamon.
two.
I don't like
Yeah.
cinnamon toast crunch that much
No.
because it's too sugary. But like they have the other one that's still very sugary, but not as sugary. The Honey Grams. I like those.
And then I like the Frankenberry.
Who doesn't like Frankenberry?
But I'm just saying that's the one, man. Because when I was a kid,
Yeah.
you couldn't buy Frankenberry but like once a year.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was when I was a kid too.
Yeah. So
That's my top 3. Original Captain Crunch, no berries. I don't like the berries. I just like Captain Crunch.
It's Captain, not Captain.
Oh yeah, Captain.
Yeah,
and
we
then
can't spell out the whole word anymore.
The second one, probably just straight up Frosted Flakes. I like Frosted
Flakes is a good poll. I mean, that's definitely broke ass white guy cereal.
Yeah, and it's good.
Yeah, and it makes your milk yummy.
Oh, the milk! Like I can't drink Frosted Flake milk. I can drink.
That was the only thing I do it for. It's like,
Yeah,
all right, I'll drink it. It tastes like sugar. All right.
And then for the third, I don't know where I'd go for the third. It might be like honey bunches of oats.
Kids. Yeah.
No, I hated honeycombs.
God, those were the worst.
Yeah, you know what I did like honey O's, so not honey nut Cheerios. The post version. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, back to the serious car audio show that we were talking about. Anyway, so that's what happened today. So that was exciting. That, and we looked at a bunch of new Morel stuff that we got in. So that was pretty cool.
That's always fun. Yeah. I got some new speakers in. You can't see them; they're behind me.
Oh,
for
nice.
a 3-way and we could talk about that in a minute. But for right now, we have a poll.
Okay.
We have a poll.
What is the most important quality in an amp you are going to buy? I understand you might have several, but in this poll, imagine if you could only choose one and assume every other aspect will be middling.
I'm glad you corrected that. And listen, have you noticed in a poll, YouTube will not let you correct it once it's posted?
I've never done a poll.
Yeah.
I don't care that
much. Whatever you write, it's in there. You're not changing it. Yeah.
No, that's like Instagram when you put your cover photo in for a video.
Right.
Yeah, if you don't get it right the first time, sorry, bro.
Yeah, you're
next
done.
time. Shoot another video. So power is funny. Okay, I think you're all lying. I think everybody is lying.
I think so too.
I think they're all full of shit, because if sound quality was the most important thing, nobody would watch Derek's videos. Nobody, because all y'all care about is fucking power. Power. Oh man, that piece of shit didn't do the power. Fuck those guys. They're all full of crap. Yeah, but it sounds amazing. Fuck that. They said it did 500 watts and only was 490. They're a fucking bunch of jackasses. Fuck those guys. That's a piece of shit right there. Yes, but dude, you can literally hear the angel's wings flapping in the background. Not if it doesn't do 500 watts, you won't. Fuck that. Nuh-uh. Now, if it was a 450 watt amp, dude, that amp was the best thing I've ever seen.
The 1 watt will get you. And I've had companies where I've tested something. I was like, hey man, this, even though it made rated at certain impedances, this particular one it didn't. And guess what? As soon as that's said, they don't give a shit about what else is said. It is a piece of junk.
dude, if I was an amplifier manufacturer, like I would not put out any power ratings at all.
Yeah. Oh,
I
you
mean,
would
I
be
get
like
the burst.
Bentley when
Yeah.
how they do their horsepower. Like,
It's
what do they
fast.
say?
It's
No,
loud.
I think they say something like, it's something like good enough. You know.
Yeah, it goes.
Yeah.
It's plenty. Here's
Yeah.
a small amp. It's for small things. Here's
Yeah.
a medium amp. That's for medium things. And here's a big amp. It's for big things.
Right.
Pick one.
Yeah.
I got a set of 6.5s. Well, that's a small thing. Put it on those. Well, how much power is it? Enough to power a set of 6.5s, jackass. Do you want it or not? No, but that's the thing, though, man. No, dude. If we were worried about if we were worried about sound quality, the amp dyno would be. They'd be like, well, yeah, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it didn't do rated power, so it's shit. Yeah, but it sounds good. Yeah, but it didn't do rated power. So for Dean Swearjar, thank you, Fuego.
Oh, Fuego.
That was a touchy subject. I mean, because we have an amp dyno, and we dyno a lot of amps for manufacturers that just want the raw data because they're like, hey, you have a dyno, yes, could you kind of give us the raw data on it?
Yeah.
And we're like, sure. And that way, we'll give it to them and we won't publish it, and we'll be like, yeah, here you go. And they'll be like, yeah, where's my disclaimer? Yeah. And they're like, wow. And I'll be like, yeah, wow, what are you guys thinking? Like, it's like, no, or you just sit there and go, well, what did you guys use to get this number? Because like, we're not getting anywhere near that, and if you're telling me because it's at 14.4, we're only at 14.3, so 0.03 amps or volts more is not going to give us 400 watts ever. So it's like no.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think Derek would even agree. Like a lot of the amps that he tests, that don't do rated power and that are good amps, it's like he knows no one's gonna care once he's showed the results.
Yeah.
Like
that's why we don't. That's why we don't. It's like it's a private thing. It's like, you guys want us to do this? Fine, we'll do this. We'll give you the information. You do it as you want.
Yeah.
And that's why we let Derek do the 14.4, the 14.8, whatever that, the lightning strikes. He can do all that, and we do the 13.5.
Yeah.
Because to me, an amplifier, it's like the Tommy Boy. You can put whatever the fuck you want on the side of the box. Okay. And in a perfect world, it's going to do that.
Right.
We don't live in a perfect world. Okay. So if you think your $150 1200 watt amp is going to put out 1200 watts in your car, you're sadly mistaken. It will never, ever, ever, never times infinity do 1200 watts in your car, no matter how. Fuck it. You can big 3 the shit out of that thing, and it will never do 1200 watts. You don't have the power to do that.
Unless you wire it at 0.5 ohms, bro.
Yeah, it still won't do it because the power supply will just say, fuck you, I'm done.
Yeah.
And yeah, I swear Jar's full in effect tonight, man. I don't know what came over me. No, I mean, it's and that's the thing. Yeah, no, it won't. I tell you right now, it won't. Scar will not do it. 100% will not do it.
Yeah.
No. Well, and I know this for a fact because we've dynoed it. And we had to lightning strike the shit out of that thing to get it to put out its power.
Yeah. Well,
people 500 amp.
Confuse them.
Huh?
People confuse what the amp dyno truly is versus, go ahead.
We have a 500 amp boost that goes into our already over 200 amp system with 2 giant 2150 batteries. And to get an amplifier to put over 500 amps of current into it to get it to do its rated power for that quick, no, come on, man. That's not even realistic. That's bullshit.
Some will, some won't. But at the end of the day, like when people are just looking at amp dynos, and I've had this conversation before, an amp dyno is a way to compare one amp in a controlled environment to another.
It's 100% a lab.
It's a lab, and people are like, oh, well, it doesn't clamp that. Of course, no amp is going to clamp this. This is just telling you, I test. So Derek has this catalog of everything he's tested at these voltages, so those compared to that, if this does more on the dyno than this in the same condition, there's a chance even that it might not do that in your vehicle, depending on how efficient it is.
Oh God, no.
It could flip flop. So it is.
Well, the other thing too is like you run the dyno once,
Yeah,
and it gives you this number. That's cool. Let's run it again. You run it again, gives you a different number, and it's like, oh, that one's off. Okay,
Yeah.
so then you wait 10 minutes and you run it again, and you hope you get back to the first number.
Right.
You're like, oh, whew, thank God. Because the amps don't like them. The amp does not like the dyno. Like the amp does not want you to keep, like we were working on one amp and like we had to keep running it because we were having an issue and the amp was just like going, dude, seriously,
on,
bro?
Yeah.
No, we're done. Out. I've had enough of this shit.
So. Well, and have you noticed like you can kind of cheese the dyno if you want to, and you can kind of get it to do more, especially like on an AM1.
Not a lot more.
Not a lot more, but you could get it to do.
Yeah, it's not like you can make up 400 watts.
No.
Yeah, and that's really what you have to look at and go, we need to make up 400 watts here somehow.
Yeah.
We're at because 14.4. So.
You can set the gain super high and just pop it real fast on a burst, and you could get it to do more power than it would. It'll do on a real run.
Well, and that's the other thing too. When you go, all right, guys, you want to go to the manufacturer and go, all right, listen, you guys are a reputable company. How are you getting this number? Are you running this? How are you running this? Like, what machine are you using? And is it properly calibrated? Or are you just doing math? Or is, Fonducto telling you that, no, oh, no, you do a number. It's like we put on box.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or it's from, we have the wires backwards or something.
Yeah, something. Or, there's something, because a lot of times, like, you'll see some that are on the audio precision. You're like, well, it should be doing the powered audio precision's a very high-end tool. And that could be cheesing that too,
Yeah, so don't confuse doing rated power with what it takes to get it to do rated power. That's what I'm saying here, because I can get an amp to do rated power. I can get a SCAR amp to do rated power.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I've done it. I can get the RP 2000 to do 2000 watts.
Right.
What I have to do to get it to do that is not going to work in a car.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so that's the problem. Now, you would need a big battery bank. It's still a 2000 watt amp. It's still a 5000 watt amp. The physics are simple, man. You can't fakely create energy and expect it to be there. If you give it a small power source, no matter how big the power supply is, it's going to consume as much as it can, and then it's going to go nothing else.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why the argument is, instead of going with big power, just go with more efficient speakers and smaller power. And then you'll still get loud. You'll still sound good. You'll just be able to, everything's going to work.
Right. And I think everything is going towards efficiency. Like in the future,
I think that's the further divide. Further divide, because, listen, AB class sounds wonderful. Okay.
Right.
Like AB class is spectacular. And if you get a really good AB class amplifier, it's even better. Like the ground zero one that we put in Fernando's car, dude, we cranked the bias up on the mids and tweet on that all the way up. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, man, holy shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It sounds so it's one of those things where you listen to it and you listen to it for a while and you swap them out and you put something else in there, like, oh.
Yeah.
Nah, that was way better.
Yeah.
I mean, that was way better. So yeah, it's there, but also it's a very expensive amplifier, so that's cool. But it's also at that dude, like, you could, as they always say, you could cook on that fucker. That was a skillet at that point, man.
Right.
You know, it's fucking hot as shit, and it's going power, 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 power. Like Jeff and Fernando are out there tuning it, and we're like, "What? Why is it? What's it doing?" And we're like, "Oh shit!" Like it was 15 minutes, and the battery's just going. I've had enough, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I was like, "Oh, ooh, get the charger." Power too cheap for people to start going for efficiency. Yeah, and that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I think it's the opposite because we're all. How many Class AB amps are there out there? They used to all be Class AB, and it's cheaper to make a Class AB sound good than a Class D sound good. You can get you'll see a lot of these cheap amps that are 2-channel amps. They are Class AB.
yeah.
It's easier to get it to. You don't have to do as much output filtering and stuff like that. You can get a Class D that's phenomenal, and you know we've both heard them. So, but
yeah.
I think they're going towards efficiency.
Well, I mean, prime example, you know, Monday night when McNulty was on the show and they were talking about the new Audison amplifiers. I mean, they're this big. We've all seen Forza. We know
Right.
what size it is. They're going to have a 12 channel. They're going to have an 8 channel. They're going to have a 5 channel. They got companion amplifiers now. So, I mean, you know, like he was talking about, you know, you buy the 5 channel, you buy the 6 channel companion amplifier. You have 2 amplifiers that are literally this big stacked on top of one another. But there again, that's a different person than like we did a guy today. He's straight up Scar dude. He had RP 1200, 2 Scar 12s, everything off the website, you know, just all the Scar stuff. And he's not interested in that. You know, you couldn't convince him to go with that. He doesn't even understand how that works. You know, he just looks
Nor
at it
does
and
he
goes,
care. Yeah.
no, he's like, dude, it's 1200 watts. I need that in my car.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. So
And as long as you're honest with yourself, if that's what you want,
yeah, but
you're better off going with that. Because at the end of the day, let me just use one of our fine people in the audience, Baba, who does not admit he's a bass head, so he's going through the motions. Like he's the mullet of car audio. I've discussed this on a live stream that it was a Patreon only live stream. So he's SQ up front and Party in the back.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. So
yeah,
he's going into it like he's admitting it. He's slowly walking into it, but it's cost him a lot of money.
yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
it's just so one of my favorite small powerhouse amplifiers is the Rockford. You know, we talk about it all the time. Rockford Mini T amplifiers.
Yeah.
T750.1. Like, dude, it's this big. Puts out 900 watts. Like, we have not dynoed it less than. I think maybe we got like 889 watts once.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay. You know, and it fits anywhere it goes in, and it's like this amazing little amplifier that you put into a car and puts out a shit ton of power. Yeah, pretty sure.
I agree.
So, you know, listen. If sound quality was all that matters, which you guys say it is, you guys wouldn't care about whether an amplifier, you know, did dyno or not. You know, you'd just be like, and there again, maybe that's why, like when we do the real world amp dynos, our numbers I don't even care about. Like I don't even think we talk about them because it's like, here's what it does at 13.5. You know, it's not 14.4, it's 13.5. And the manufacturers always go, let's make sure you make it clear that you're not doing this because they know.
Yeah.
Like, make sure you're not doing this at 14.4, so they understand that you're not getting that. This is I'm like, dude, everyone knows we called a real world amp dyno because this is 13.5, which is what most cars are going to feed them. I know some cars will feed them more.
Yeah.
And that's even better because that's great. You know,
the Trooper is like 13.6 on its very best day in the early morning.
Yeah. So I feel, to me, that's a more honest number. Yeah, you could stimulate the hell out of the YouTube comments. They
don't care about us.
They don't give a shit.
But I do have one counter argument in the basshead's favor.
Go for it.
I will say there's a large portion of bassheads that will prefer a Korean Class D over the Brazilian with no preamp. So there is some difference to them. on what they're going with. It's a Korean Class D. I kind of agree with them. Like some of the Brazilian Class Ds are pretty gnarly sounding. They have some fantastic ones as well.
I had a guy come in the other day. And this was funny. He goes, because I don't know how we got on this subject of Terra amps, because I sure as hell didn't bring him. He goes, bro, those things are shit. Man, everyone's like all on that Terra amp for a minute. And like that minute's gone, bro. Those things suck. I'm like, bro, that's harsh, man. He's like, no, man. I had like 5 of them and they're all shit. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, man, that's all you, bro.
Yeah, you did that.
I mean, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't run them. Oh, he was just hating on him, man. I was like, okay.
They're sensitive. Like if you go low voltage on them, there's not a lot of protections built in.
I've put 1 Terra amp in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to put another one in.
Well, see, I have the Chinese Brazilian copy.
Oh,
Sound Cube in the Trooper right now.
Nice.
And man, I got to be honest, it doesn't sound that bad.
No, you know,
you know, it was like
Yeah.
it's pretty efficient, and it you know, you can maybe tell a difference at low volumes, but when you're cranking it up.
We had some of those in to dyno, but not the Sound Cubes, but
something similar. There
I want to
a
say
lot
it was
of
like sound, maybe Soundstream. I don't know. It was
Probably.
there again. I don't remember which one it was. It was they had just come out with them, and they were Chinese clones of Brazilians.
Yeah.
They did nowhere near the power. Like they weren't even getting close to the power, but it was like, and that's what I don't understand. It's like, you know, oh, it's a 3,000 watt amp. No, it's really about an 1,800 watt amp, and it probably will do 1,800 watts like really well and sound okay. But when you're selling it as this big thing that it's not, no, that's dumb.
And so the 1 Terra amp that I thought sounded okay was the Smart 3K.
Hey, there again, I
oh yeah. But
I got no horse in this race, man. I got no horse in this race. I haven't heard enough Terra amps to say good, bad, or different. This was a customer ranting about him, and I was just like,
the MD. I'm gonna confirm. Hi-Fi Vega said he does not like the Terra amps MD series. The Smart 3, I've heard them. They sound pretty good. The MDs, man, they do not.
I don't know enough about them. I mean, I literally could, you know, you could point one out on a wall and I could read the heatsink and go, yeah, that's a Terra amp.
Yeah.
You know, what do you do?
Hey, they put out the power if you need power.
Can it charge my batteries? Or it looks like a DC to AC converter. Can it do that?
Yeah, they have those. Yes, they do.
I know they do. Yeah. Why do you think they make amplifiers?
What's
happening? Just got home, put in new alternator and charge. Wow.
Lord have mercy. You see, he's destroying that valuable Excursion. Those things are expensive now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Everything's expensive now, man.
They had one sell with low miles for like $100,000.
Oh,
that was a pristine. It was pristine, you know, and all that, and it's like a bring a trailer story. But I've legit seen those going in bad shape for like $10,000. Insane.
All right, so sound quality be the most important thing. Then that means that the high-end amplifier market should just be flooded with people buying.
Right.
Okay, so everyone should be running, you know, Audison, Focal, True, Gladen, Moscone. Who am I missing here? The Morel 45th anniversary Class A B 2-channel amplifier, the MPS Morel amplifiers, Helix amplifiers. Who am I missing? I mean, I feel like I hit, you know, you
already said the Audison Thesis, and
I mean, that's all you guys should be running. You shouldn't be running anything else. You shouldn't be running the Kickers. You shouldn't be running the Rockfords. You shouldn't be running the Scars and the Sundowns and anything that's available online only. Like none of that stuff should be what you're buying, because if sound quality is hands down the most important thing, you cannot do that as well for a cheap price.
Well, and this goes into the definition of sound quality, because I know you've heard SQ loud. And while I get what they're saying, they just want they want good tonality.
Zabco, good call. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they got a $5,000 DSP.
Yeah, and I would disagree because I think the new Exactco amps are nothing more than Scar amps in a different skin with an old name.
Let me tell you what, that different skin looks sexy.
Yeah, it does.
When I saw them in the case, I go, ooh.
Yeah, they have some cool ones. They're high. I haven't messed with their high end stuff. I've just messed with the STX SQ.
I haven't messed with any of them.
Yeah.
To answer Tech Fanatic's question, Paul sells Scar. He sells Terra amps. He sells Hyphonics amplifiers. He sells Crunch, Autotech. He sells American Bass. He sells all that shit. So
Yeah. The only thing you promote's the stuff like that you actually like and use.
We don't install any of it, but he sells all of that, and he knows not to give it to me to install because it's not who our installation customer is. But we have a big customer base of small shops as well as a lot of like I will call them DIY guys, but it's their side hustle,
right?
So.
Right.
That buy a lot of that stuff from us. I mean, that's why I came up with the term speaker by the pound, because I'll literally walk over there to get a RCA or a power cable, and there'll be a guy walking out the door like he's a hand truck with like his chin from here to here of 6.5-inch loudspeakers walking up. I go, wow, you sold 6 pairs loud. What did that get us? Like $100?
Yeah. Dude, loudspeakers I didn't realize how cheap loudspeakers are.
Oh, dude, speaker by the pound.
You're not lying, man. You're right because I started looking online at them.
That's like $5 a pound, man. What do you got? Yeah, all right, there you go.
I mean, that's like if you're into that, dude, if that's what you're into, like this is the golden era for you right now because they got
God, yes.
And everyone makes one. They even make one that's square. They make more than one that's square now.
Those are expensive. Those are going to be expensive. Yeah. They are expensive. I've seen the cost on. I was like, oh shit. But Rockfords are expensive too, and those typically the Rockfords I've heard and done, and those have been some of the best sounding that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But they're expensive and they sound good. Another one that's really good is the Hertz SPL shows are really nice. And there again, there's others too. But if you do pay more for your speakers by the pound, you will get better results. Because they do make some really high-end versions of these things. Because think about it. This is nothing more than a stadium speaker.
Right, okay? Yeah.
This is the same speaker that goes in this stadium box.
Meant to get loud as hell.
Yeah, so there's good, better, best on those. But right now, everyone seems to be stuck on that $35 price point.
Right.
And it's like,
Oh, I've heard some really nice pro style mids.
Yeah, dude, the SPL show tweeters are freaking awesome. They look just like everybody else's. They don't sound the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my whole argument against bullet tweets is not so much bullet tweets, but the way they're getting used to like melt my face off. That was the main problem with bullet tweets.
Yeah, they're harsh. They sound really good. Like dude. If you do a loudspeaker system with a DSP, you're killing it. Like, because that's what they need. They just need to be reeled in. The problem is people get them and they get the little 7-band EQ, and then they go like this, or they just go like this, or they get 5 EQs. They get 5 EQs in a single DIN radio. And and then you're just like, how is that even like?
They got to have left and right channel separation.
No, they don't.
They got to EQ left and right.
They don't EQ left and right, dude. I was blown away. I was like, dude, this shit's mono, and it's like, what? Yeah, because Jeff will tune a lot of that for one of the shops in town.
Yeah,
and he's like, he goes, dude. When I was like, he's like, dude, I can't get to it. And they're like, well, it's mono, and he's like, yeah, all right, we're done. You need to put another amp in this car.
Right.
It's like, oh God. Bullet tweeters, air horns in the ear hole. Yeah. I mean, a lot of those bullet tweeters on, 103, 107 dBs of efficient. It's like,
well, and I like
250 watt amp I can put on them.
I've heard a bunch of compression drivers that I like. It's just it's like when I say bullet tweets, I'm talking about the ones everyone hates. That when they get in there, it's like
where the magnet is bigger than the tweeter.
And it's got 150 watts per channel on it, and it plays
C5. Yeah.
well. And then what gets you is like it'll play super loud in between a demo of the bass. So when it's with the bass, it's more
It's
acceptable.
tolerable.
It's more acceptable because everything's kind of blending. But when they cut the bass knob down and you get the in between part before the bass drops, you're just getting murdered, literally murdered.
Yeah. But hey, we're into sound quality. That's what we want in our amplifiers.
Yeah.
We only want sound quality.
You're assuming that these guys aren't all sound quality aficionados.
We know they're not because, well, I'll just not saying.
Yeah. Well, we know Baba. We know Baba's the mullet of car audio. Like me.
These guys. Well, a lot of
we share that in common.
Feelings hurt. Everyone, oh, this is this.
Yeah. Hey,
whatever.
Listen, it is so easy to go Basshead. Let me tell you.
I had some guy when I said something on a show once, and just like the CCA is the best.
Yeah.
And I said something like, "Oh, you must turn your gains all the way up." And some guy was like, "I think that's the only part of the show he caught." And of course, Matt. And so he went off to one of the SQ pages and just started going off about what I said. And some of the guys were there, and they came back to me and they said, "Dude, this guy's just like going crazy about you." And I'm like, "What do you want me to do about it? I'm not, I'm intentionally not in that page." And this guy's like, "Dude, he probably doesn't even know how to use REW." And I'm like, "No, because I bought a fucking I bought an RTA, so I wouldn't have to use REW."
Yeah.
I didn't want a laptop. It's like, no, I bought the whole
I can use this. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and now I have an even better one. So it's like, no, fucker. Yeah. Give me a break.
Well, I had posted, I had a group chat, and my buddy said something so funny that I had to post it. Someone wrote CCA for life as a clown on me for the video I made. So that's funny. And then he fires back with, "You know what? Not only do we want CCA, we're going to get the bike pump and we're going to put extra air in there to get as much oxygen."
I saw that. Oh, yeah.
I was like, that was good.
I loved it. I saw a guy that had CCA, and he was doing this with the wire, watching the powder come out. It's just like this giant thing of powder. And I'm like, well, who knew CCA wire turned into cocaine?
Yeah.
I mean, you must be on it to buy it, but
I'm still waiting for it to corrode. I honestly, at this point, but I'm not putting any power through it. I'm running a kicker key off it.
Again, if you're responsible.
Yeah. I mean, what should I? Yes. Do you think it would do it if I'd done 8 gauge, like an 8 gauge run, if I swapped it?
Probably.
Yeah, I might do that.
Though. I mean, dude, you'd have to do like a 10 gauge to get a kicker key to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, because a kicker key is a super efficient amplifier, and it only needs a 12 gauge wire.
Right. Okay. That's true. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe run a remote turn on CCA wire that has like
see what it does.
5, it'll corrode, it'll fall apart on you. But I mean, just stripping one of those is enough of a pain in the ass. It's like, this is stupid.
Oh, and then you go to solder it. It's going to be super fun.
Oh, you can't solder that. It's aluminum.
I know.
You're there all day. Why won't this solder?
I'm not getting it hot enough. What's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. No, you just get it hotter and watch it evaporate.
Yeah.
Where's the wire going? What kind of shit is this? It's magic.
Cassie coming in hot.
I mean, if you want more men in your life, quality men. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
The Milwaukee cordless strippers and crimper tool. Dude, that crimper tool's like, what, $3,000? Some shit like that? Oh, God. Steve's got one, of course.
Yeah.
Steve.
I mean, he's got to. They've made those. We've had them forever at work.
Yeah.
They're made Grundy ones, but they don't use those often. We usually use the table, like the big hydraulic ones, to do it.
Yeah,
but they're pretty expensive, no doubt about that.
Dude, I had the big nice set.
Yeah.
That he originally used, and he's like, I like this one, and I was like, all right, well, if he likes that one, he's crimping way too much of this shit. That's the one I'm gonna buy. And I was like, okay, so and that one's fine, but you're sitting there and you're
it's the indent one, right? The dialless.
Yeah, it does the
Yeah.
little stop sign crimp and all that stuff. And I'm like, it's such a pain in the butt. So, Sky High makes theirs, which is the, and it puts the pin in.
Yeah.
And I was like, I like that. Because all my other all my other tools are that. Like, and I
Yeah.
was like, I like that. So I bought one of those for whatever they were asking, which is a couple $100.
Right.
And that thing's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you just like done. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. You should see some of the lug, like, since we do stuff for the Navy, and this would happen in general, but we have to send our lugs off for lug pull test.
Yeah.
That is so stringent and brutal.
Oh, I
mean,
bet.
it's like a pressure plus a time, and
Yeah.
then you do just I don't know if
You
you
want the
like
wire to
it,
break before the
right,
lug pulls off. Yeah.
but because like in calibrations you're supposed to do like 25, 50, and 75% of whatever it can take. This one goes up to 150% of what is rated. I was
It's the
like, wow.
military. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's got to save
It's
lives.
insane. Yeah.
Dean, what Korean amp not have engineers behind them? I mean, I mean, every amp has to have engineering behind it. It wouldn't. I mean, that's.
I think like if you think he's talking like what company does not have engineers versus
Oh, I mean, the
there's a
thing is
bunch.
I can only attest to the companies that I've talked to.
Right.
Like companies that I interact with, and I've talked to their engineering staff, and those are the only ones I know. I don't,
No,
Scott,
doesn't.
who
Yeah.
talks to Sundown and stuff like that, he can attest to how in depth maybe Sundown gets with their engineering. Do they have an on-staff engineer, or are they employing a third-party engineer? A lot of guys do that. They'll there is an amplifier manufacturer, or let's just say there is a car audio company, several, but one in particular, that a lot of other companies hire them to design their amplifiers. And then that design goes off to their contracted manufacturing facility to be built. So there has to be an engineer at some step along the way. The difference is whether the engineer works for you and understands what you want, or if you're listening to the engineer. So, for example, if you know nothing about the product and you're just kind of like a shade tree guy, and you're like, yeah, we want this, and they go, oh yeah, we make that, no problem, I can do that for you, yeah, whatever you need, the used car tactics style engineer. Because we've heard plenty of horror stories where companies will go to the on-staff engineer, and they'll be like, hey, we want these things in our products, and the on-staff engineer will go, like, that's going to make it worse. No, that's okay. We want to have these products in our amplifier because these are sellable points.
Yeah.
So they'll actually make an amplifier worse just because there's more named brand parts inside of the amplifier. And so
looks good on the box.
It looks good on the box. So, I mean, that's one of those weird things. So it all depends on, for example, like if you saw the Rockford tour, there's more engineering there than there are people to sell the product. Like, there's so many different engineers. Like, I think it's an 80-20 mix, maybe even less, like even like more, that are engineers as opposed to just dudes.
Dude, you wouldn't believe how many engineers it takes to do side-by-sides, boats, dirt bikes. And then they have one for cardio, right? Like one.
No, when he's not doing when they're not doing other things.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, dude. Like, for example, like one aspect of the speaker design, there was 5 guys. There's 5 guys for one aspect of the speaker design. And I was like, what is your job? And he's telling me, and it's like, okay, so then where does it go? All right, it goes over here to see this guy. This guy's like making his own software to do shit, and you're just like, what? It's like, yeah, I just designed my own software so we could run these simulations. And you're like, yeah, you work where? Why?
those big companies did. Like Kicker does stuff like that.
Oh
And
no,
it's like,
dude. You know,
it's like,
Joe is
yeah,
you know, he's got all his minions that work for him, and that's just like that's just power. That's just the
yeah.
power side.
This
You know. And then you have
I can't
speaker.
this comment.
My wife, highly intelligent, and still manages to fall down the stairs.
Read his name. He's stuck with it.
Yeah.
All right. Continue.
I mean, yeah. No, I mean, but that's just it. So, I mean, we just got done reviewing, or like I said, there was a company that asked us to dyno a bunch of amplifiers, and they are literally off the shelf amplifiers. So it's a, hey, we need this, and this. We want this logo on the top. We want it in this box. We want to hit these price points. Send over your engineered samples. And that's it.
Right.
That's it. That's the extent of what happened. Nothing else. You know? So,
and that can be okay depending on what you want to do. Like you said,
100%.
China can make you a really nice amp.
Oh, no doubt.
If you want it made that way, but
right. Yeah.
often
and
people don't, you know.
It's not like it. See, the problem is a lot of people want shit to be right and people want shit to be wrong. And they want 100% right and 100% wrong. It's either this way or it's that way, and there's no fucking gray at all.
Yeah.
None. And it's like the world doesn't work like that, okay?
Yeah.
There are good guys, there are bad guys, and then there's everything in between. So, and they're equal. So, you know, the really reality of it is, it's like, hey, you know, this company over here didn't pay anyone to design anything. Well, they did. There was an engineer somewhere in there,
right,
at some point, whether it was working for them or working for the company they were buying from. That's questionable, you know, because then it's like, well, he works for him, not you, and you know, you asked them to do something and they had him, so that's speculative, you know. So that's really where it comes down to, because you have no control over your destiny.
Right.
It could be bad, or that could work out great. So if you have an honest company you're dealing with is generally concerned with what you're trying to do, then it'll work out. But the moment that guy goes and they get the next guy in, he might not care because he just wants a paycheck. And then it all goes to shit.
Or you could be the engineer that raises the flag and you just get stiff-armed.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's like, no, we're not doing that. It's like, well, okay.
So really what it comes down to is, you know, if the engineer works for you and is in your office, then at least you have somebody that has the knowledge to deal with what happens.
Right.
You know? And that was one of the, like, when I went to Kicker and I said, you know, if you guys get an amp back and you get an amp back and you get an amp back and you get enough amps back that are of the same, you can literally take those amplifiers, walk over to them and go, hey, we've seen 10 of these, there's a problem. And they can go, no problem. They can rebuild that amplifier, recreate the problem, blow it up and go, here it is. I had an amplifier manufacturer send me an amplifier. I blew it up the day they sent it to me.
Surprise,
boom!
surprise.
Jesus
surprise,
Christ.
Surprise.
Called them up, said, hey, man, it's dead. I said, here's a call tag. Send it back. Sent it back that day. They called me the next day. They got it. They tore it apart. They called me back the next day and said, holy shit. Yeah, somebody put the wrong parts in. One part was bad. They put the wrong part in. Yeah. And so luckily you got the amplifier and blew it up, because we've only built like 10 of these things. So they were able to fix the problem. They sent it back to me. Amplifier still runs today. You know, but that's the thing. So they have engineers on staff that knew right away, oh shit, this is the problem. Whereas amp comes back, oh shit, I don't know what's wrong with this.
Yeah, it's like me looking at it. It's like if I ordered amps, I thought Vega amps, and then they got sent back. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
It's got caps. It's got MOSFETs over there. There's a cool red and gold power supply thingy. Yeah, that's snazzy. Oh, it's got a cover on it.
This is black covers over here. Something happened right here. This is probably what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it happened or why, but this is what happened.
You know, Joe, on the other hand, could look at that and go,
know exactly.
Oh, right there, dude. Like, how much power is this? Yeah. Oh, dude, we got to get this thing on the scope, you know, because that's
Yeah.
what those guys do. Those guys will buy other people's amplifiers and blow them up, fix them, blow them up again, fix them again, and just work their way through the process of blowing up until it gets to the point where it's all right, this is how this amplifier should be built.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can take what we've learned from killing this guy's amplifier and use that to design our amplifier so that we don't run into the same problem that these guys are running into. You know, that's the joy of it all. That's, you know, let's
Well, and
experiment with their shit.
when you're big like Rockford, when you're big like Kicker, etc., you're selling to people that aren't car audio people often. They just
Right.
and a lot of them are DIY people, but they're not like enthusiasts like the people in
Right.
this chat or me.
Right.
So they're probably gonna mess something up when they hook it up. So you need a lot of protection in there.
Oh,
Even I
yeah.
will say, even like a Boss amp, those are
Right.
kind of hard to kill.
Oh
for a
yeah.
reason,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
All those things are. Well, and there again, that's what, like, if you look at the Kicker, what's the CX amplifier, the yellow ones.
Yeah.
Those are made for exactly the person you talked about. They can put the wrong size power wire in there. They can
Yeah.
hook it up backwards. They can do all the dumb shit that they're gonna do. And at the end of the day, once they finally get it hooked up right, it's gonna turn on. It's gonna make sound, and
Still
everyone's
gonna
gonna
work.
be happy.
Yeah, you had the little power wire, but guess what? You're just getting less power, but you're still happy.
I got
'Cause it
that
said
18 gauge remote, bro. What are you talking
yes,
about?
it said 1800 watts. So
Or,
you know, I assume
18 gauge ground wire. Yeah, that's the one.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fun times.
So what you got coming up? We got 4 minutes left.
The news tomorrow morning. We got the news.
The news.
The news.
Wait, say anything special Saturday?
Saturday we're going to be announcing the contest for Ground Zero. So everyone that's been waiting to find out how to win the amplifiers on the cool board, you're going to get the board, you're going to get the amps, you're going to get the distribution. We're just sending that whole piece to you. You're going to need a power wire, because I'm not shipping a power wire. It's too damn heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have ran CCA. I mean, I'm saying.
I mean, sorry. No, but you're going to get all of that shipped to you to do whatever you want with. All wired up on the board. You just got to drop it in your car and hook your stuff up. So that'll be, we're going to announce tomorrow or Saturday on Saturday's show that competition. So that competition or that giveaway is going to run until Knowledge Fest, because we're going to have Carl, the owner of Ground Zero, pull the lucky winner out. So,
dude, you know what I would love to happen? This would be horrific and awesome all at the same time. Someone wins that, they just throw it on the back seat of like their truck, or just like sit there and they got the power wires run all over the ground.
Oh, why not, bro? I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine with it. It'll be the sexiest looking backseat install ever.
Yeah.
You know, like, bro, check out my install.
You just can't look from the waist down. You got to look from the waist up.
It's totally like that. Yeah, it's totally for that.
Oh man.
Kenwood for the win. Yeah. No.
Just run a CCA.
Yeah, there you go. That'll work. Man. I mean, you could run that to a key, because that's actually all it would need.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't have a video coming out this week. I don't have a video coming out this week because I'm still going to be working on it. But I'm doing a subwoofer comparison. That's what I got working. And when I do a subwoofer comparison, I want to have this sub in when I make my opinion on what it sounds like. I have it in the truck for a week, and I listen to it every day back and forth to work.
Yeah, you should.
That way I can break it in for my opinion. So I need an extra week.
Hey, I mean, it's perfectly understandable. I mean, a lot of the times, like, we'll cut it and it'll be like, yeah, let's go listen to it. And it's like, we don't go listen. It's just, all right, we're done. And then, you know, a couple days later, we'll come back, or a week later, and we'll be like, hey, you know, now that they're there, what do you think?
Yeah.
You know, and a friend will be like, I'll be like, oh,
yes,
come on, man. Just let me hear it. I'll be like, you sound great. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Very cool. Well, with that being said, I should drop a link. What are we watching? What did we watch?
We watched Buzz Lightyear Prey.
I did not watch Prey. Oh,
you didn't?
No, I've been watching something else.
Sandman?
We could say Prey for next week, because I do want to watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it again. It was good.
Yeah. So
what have you been watching? Oh, just wait.
I'm
You're
gonna tell on
they're
the
gonna have
next
to tell
show.
him.
If they click
Yeah.
this link I shared, they'll see what
Okay.
I've been watching on the next show, and it has sucked me in.
Dang.
A lot of people are right. I hate it when people tell me something and they're right, and then I have to be like, yeah, you're right.
Oh, I hate that.
It's unfortunate.
It's
And I
okay. It
resist it.
happens.
Yeah,
It's
it
all right.
happens.
We'll
Well,
find out. All right, guys.
let's-
Thank you so much for playing along with us tonight. Hey,
Yeah.
sound quality forever. Down with power.